Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at some new Klein tools, and these are 1/4-inch hex extensions. And these kind of intrigued me because they are locking, which is something that I look for a lot when I use tools. If you're keeping track, both of these are made in Taiwan. Okay, so looking at these, they are pretty nice. I like that they have a decent size shank on them, and these aren't really going to be meant for heavy duty ugga use. You start getting extensions on stuff, the more joints you put in things, the more loss you're going to have exponentially with impact guns. You already are going to have loss on this hex drive, and then you're going to have more in this one. Now, I think the way the locking is designed you can see this is a bit of a chuck of its own. So let's take a look at that. We have just a random drill bit here that has a hex drive. You can see that we could push it in, and we cannot pull it out. And I believe the advantage here is that now you drive the thumb screw up and you can no longer pull that back to release the tip. So you're on there. They do have reverse thread on this, so that as you're driving, if you catch it with your hands, you aren't going to immediately loosen it. And there is an O-ring in there for this to tighten up against. Of course, you can then loosen it and take it out. I think that's super handy, and I really like it. Now, because this has a locking mechanism, let's see if they have a magnet buried down in there. It does not look like it from what I see, but there's one way we can find out. And to find out, we're going to get out our Gauss meter. This will test for magnetism, and we'll just stick it down inside there, and you can see we really have no really meaningful increase on our meter. Nothing really there per se. Now if we go to a magnetized tool, actually, this is holding magnet. Yeah, this isn't a magnetized drill bit, and you can see that's actually got a higher reading than this does. A legitimate magnetized tip, like in this Klein nut driver, will get you a far higher number on the Gauss meter than what we are seeing here on these. So I will be very positive in saying these are not magnetized. Not being magnetized is actually really great, because one of the things that I like to use these for is drill taps. Drill taps can be very finicky, and if you're doing a lot of it, you can kind of waver a little bit, and it's easy to snap these because they're drilling and tapping. It's a fairly hard tool. So the advantage is, if you were to put one of these in a tool like this, lock it in, now as you're drilling, you have a little bit of movement, but it's dampened by the length of the tool. You can see I'm moving the back of the tool quite a bit, and we're not getting a lot of movement there, so at the end. So it's actually quite handy. I find I have less breakage on drill taps if I go with a longer driver, and these not being magnetized is great. This is a Greenlee drill tap, and Greenlee actually sends a separate holder that you can use, but as the Gauss meter shows, it's magnetized, and I don't like having magnetized drill bits. So if we didn't go over it, this is not a locking mechanism that requires you to pull it back to get the tool in. You can just push your tool in and it's locked. You don't have to do anything until you go to remove it. You pull the chuck back And there you go. This can, of course, work for anything that is 1/4 inch hex that you can put in a tool that is locking. Here's a countersink that you could put on the extension, lock it in, it's not going anywhere, and as you drive it the correct direction, if you happen to get into the red knurled piece, you will only tighten it, not loosen it, because of the left-hand thread. The 6-inch, very much like the 12, just a shorter version. No magnetism. You have a ball detent down inside there, and when you lock something into it, you can see that you're locked because the collar sticks out a little bit from here. Take a look at that a little closer. The collar is right up against the tip here, and then when we have something in, we have a little bit of a gap. And then of course we can tighten our ring, and we cannot remove that. So I think it's a fairly decent way of doing things. It is a little bulky, and that's kind of the trade-off on all these, is how do you do this and keep it compact? Looking at the end of the 6-incher with our 6-inch scale, you can see our diameter is right around 5/8, and that doesn't get much larger as we go back here. So I would say we are right at that 5/8 as our largest size. So if you were trying to utilize this for something smaller than 5/8 and you're needing the extra length of the tool, you're probably not going to like this. But a lot of these extensions are indeed around that 5/8 diameter, or a little bit less, or a little bit more. Here, this 3/16 drill bit, if we were trying to extend that really far, we'd probably have a rough go with it if we needed to get, say, just this size of the housing in. But at some point you need to be able to hold on to what you're working with. If you got yourself one of these, how much extra weight would you be carrying around? For the 6-inch, you are looking at, if I can balance it here, there we go, right around 3 ounces. And for the 12-inch, we're looking at about 5.3 ounces. Obviously the two together would be about 8.3. So you are adding some weight, and these they do not feel like they have a flimsiness to them. They feel like they have a decent amount of strength. Moving on to that, we could probably test to see at least what the shank's hardness is with our Rockwell files. So let's start at a 50, and I need to be careful because I'm expecting this to have scale on it. So the 50, you can see we made a mark, but we didn't really dig in. The 55 is also, it's just starting to dig in, and I'm expecting this 60 to actually dig in. Yeah, the 60 is indeed digging in. That's aluminum. The 60 actually isn't aggressively digging in, but it is digging in, so I would probably put this in the mid-50s as far as hardness, which is probably good. It's about in line with what we see with a lot of sockets. We don't see stuff too hard because you're impacting it. You don't want it to get brittle. I think that's kind of in that socket hardness range, which is about what I would expect to see. Let me know what you think. These are tools that are just handy to have around. Random extensions to throw on things to get you out of the workpiece or into something else are always a welcome thing to have. For me and what I do, I don't know if that's a fit for everybody, but it seems like they have a good strong grasp on the 1/4 inch end of everything, and I really do like the locking option. If you didn't want to lock anything, you could always run that back and tighten it there and just use this as a regular quick connect collet. So you're not forced into utilizing the locking part. You can lock it out and just use that as a regular spring collet that you're used to on your impact gun. So I think that's pretty neat. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are these something that would be handy for you? Do you like the locking feature? Does that seem kind of gimmicky for what you do? I like to be able to lock tools together for what I do, but that may not apply to everybody else. I think this is a decent way of doing it because you can't accidentally bump it. Irwin has a set that probably is a little bit more compacted with than these, but I have those in the work carry right now. I can't compare them, but I think they might just be just a little thinner, but you can accidentally release those because there's no lockout on the spring mechanism. Let me know what your thoughts are. We have a growing community of guys in the comments that are willing to share what they know and what they've experienced out in the field working with tools, and I think that is great. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.